Hi everyone. So I told you I'd come back on and do another video because all of the transits that we have happening, all of the amazing change that we have happening is really going week by week because there is so much happening in May. I kind of thought that May would be a little bit tamer. And because of some of the transits, they are. However, there's a lot of change, peace coming in. So you have a lot going on, but you also have a very lucky month because you have Jupiter that is entangled in all of these transit as well. So Jupiter often brings love, luck, abundance of all sorts. So if you've been really trying to simplify your life and trying to change things for the betterment for you, this is going to be your month. You're going to go, oh, this is happening so much quicker, right? So strap in. I'm going to try to make these videos a little bit shorter than I would do my normal large newsletter because, like I said, there's so much happening. So this is going to be the video for the week of May 12th through the 16th, 17th. So I'm doing this on the 12th, and so buckle in. Let's just get right to it. So we are working in the wounded healer, if you will. So Chiron completes its long transit through Aries and prepares to enter Taurus in June. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because at the end of this week, we have a new moon in Taurus. And so this moving from Aries into Taurus, we're already going to start feeling this even before June. So I want to kind of bring this up because Chiron, the wounded energy or the wounded healer energy, is asking you to take these wounds, to take these lessons that you've learned, and to allow them to become wisdom. Don't allow them to become walls or become fear, become justice that's not deserved. And I'll get into that in a minute. So this is going to really bring steady and strong structural change. So the two cards I pulled first for this reading, one is Justice. Justice. See that beautiful compass? And the second is Fear. Fear. So that's what I want to kind of talk about. So because this energy is going to bring such strong structural change, it is asking you to go through your life and really pick out the things that you've been doing because it's a pattern. You've been doing because you've always done it. This is the way you are. Start really digging deeper here because God's Spirit, these transit, this astrology is asking you to go deeper. And I have some more information on that in a minute too. So what is this transit going to do to the collective? So it's going to challenge collective values, and that's going to be especially around material possessions. It's going to challenge security, so sacral growth, security, abundance, embodiment of these things, and your emotional stability around them. So in other words, if this energy comes in and takes your structure away that you've been working on for the last few years, or you've been working on since you became an adult, and it could cause emotional instability, how are you going to rebuild your inner structure, your inner beliefs around all these things so that no matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens outside of you, no matter who is coming into your energy or out of your energy, how do you become completely stable? How do you become sovereign in this? So you're not just reacting, you're not just creating fear around change. You're going, okay, I see this. We really need to start working on these patterns because the next few years is really moving into a deeper energy, moving into simplicity, not working as hard, but being very disciplined. So if you have not been disciplined and you have not been really working on your inner structure and you're allowing everyone else around you to dictate what you're doing, then you really need to figure out what you want. What do you desire? What are you really wanting to bring in? Because this transit, is going to encourage deeper alignment with pleasure, with creativity, simplicity, and inner stability. So this is why I'm bringing this up, because it will start to move in before June, okay? So let's really start healing your sacral energy. So this would be self-worth. Let's reassess our resources on material. You're really going to want to assess your material versus your internal value. So perhaps you're not charging as much as you should for whatever you're creating. Maybe you're not charging as much, or maybe you're not charging at all. So these are the things that you need to start looking at. Let's start reclaiming our authentic authority, our sacred authority, our sovereign authority. Let's look at our boundaries. What have you been allowing that you should have never allowed in the first place, right? I've allowed a lot of things, and I should have just stopped them immediately, and I didn't. Not everyone feels as deep as we do. Not everyone sees what we see, and so a lot of times we really need to start speaking up for ourselves. So if there's something going on in your life and you're not speaking up about it, speak up about it in a beautiful, loving, rational way. Not with anger, not with frustration, not with contempt or fear. Just say, hey, this is not working for me, okay? So let's start doing these things, because you're going to be pushed into it regardless because of the astrology. People are going to start testing you, right? People are going to start throwing things your way. So you're really going to have to start paying attention to these things so that you can really work on them before they become right in your face, right? You'll already go, wait a minute, I see why this is coming up, or I see why I need to change here, okay? So, that's Chiron, or Chiron. So, the last few months we've been working in Pluto, and it continues to dismantle and will continue to dismantle probably from now until 2028, 2030, to dismantle old structures, old foundation that is no longer in alignment for your blueprint, for your mission, for what you came here to do. So, although we will have ups and downs, we will have change, time to settle, change, time to settle. These things will quiet down a little bit. So there are going to be certain dynamics to start to feel that they're no longer justified, or you're no longer going to feel like you have to convince somebody about how you feel or how you see things. I would imagine for the last few years you have been misunderstood, or you have tried to explain things. You have gotten messages from spirit that things need to change, and you have tried, and it just hasn't worked. You've tried for the last few years, try, asking people, please work with me, please help me, please do this, and it just has not worked out. And so this isn't a time of confusion. This is actually a time to recognize that this is the real shift. This is it. We're in it. We're not waiting to move. We're not waiting for the next this or that. We're in the shift. It's time. There's no more waiting. It's time. So this is, to me, a moment that we really need to start reflecting on what our soul has already outgrown, because we often outgrow things, and that's okay. That's beautiful. Your soul is growing, and sometimes we get pushed into this because although our soul has outgrown it, we hesitate for safety. We hesitate because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. We hesitate because we've always done it a certain way. And God and Spirit saying, hey, just because it's always been done a certain way doesn't mean that it has to continue that way. It's okay to change. It's time for change. So we have this new moon coming up at the end of the week. I think it's Friday night or Saturday, so the 15th and 16th. And this is really asking you to go deeper than before. Really dig deep here. Let's go deeper than we ever have before. And we have simplicity. Exactly what I spoke about. So I wrote all this stuff down first, and I've been working on it for the last couple of weeks. And then I've always pulled the cards last, and it is just amazing how it shows what cards we get. So allow yourself to really find your inner compass. Look at some of the structural things, not just within the world, but within yourself, and realize that it's time for change. It's time to really love yourself and really start working for you, because many of you have most likely been working, or maybe something was started and someone else started it and you came in and took over, or you came in to help it grow. You came in to sustain it for a small period of time. And now you're feeling okay. It feels stable. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone can do what they need to do. They've learned what they need to learn. So what's next? What is the movement forward? Because your soul can feel it. You feel like you need to move, but you don't know what to do. So make sure you're sitting with Spirit, because they're going to give you that answer. They're going to start popping up these opportunities. Really start digging deeper than you did before and sitting with these new creativities, these new ideas, these new structural things, even if it seems out there. You know, bring them up. Let's talk about them. Let's try new things, okay? And don't fear. Don't fear these changes that are happening in the collective. Don't fear what's going on. Sometimes you have to try things, throw it at the wall, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, we try something else. So there is no failure here. There is learning something new and turning it into wisdom. Okay? That's where we go deeper. That's where we really move into simplicity. So for this new moon, I'm going to quote Socrates. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So let's stop fighting the old. Let's start building something new. And let's really start allowing God to work with us here. And I'm going to give you 3 questions that I would love for you to consider in this new moon energy. Excuse me. The first question I'm going to propose to you is, what have you been calling a dream, or what have you been calling alignment that is actually deflection? Because wanting it up close would require you to change. So what have you been calling a dream, or calling this as alignment, that is actually deflection, because you're wanting it to you don't want to look at it close up. You don't want to look at it deeper than you have before. Here's that. Because you know it would require change. Spicy question, right? Second question. What in your life that you are really ready to receive, but you're blocking it because you're quietly believing you don't deserve it? So what in your life that you're ready to receive, but you're blocking it because you're quietly believing that you don't deserve it? And your last question for this new moon. If you truly surrendered and trusted God, and you truly surrendered and trusted that God was always working in your favor, what would you stop fighting for and start letting go of? If you truly surrendered and trusted God was working in your favor, what would you stop fighting for and start letting go of? So some of us have already asked ourselves these questions. Some of us have been working with Spirit for the last few months, last few years to prepare for these big changes. So a lot of you have too. So if you have not asked yourself these questions, this new moon would be a phenomenal time to ask yourself these questions, because these transits, where we're sitting energetically, is really asking us to simplify our lives but go deeper, and to not have fear of what's coming or the change of the fear, to embody it, to allow that change to come and really bring out your new creativity so you can build something new. Anything that you are building in honesty with yourself, in alignment with you, God, and your mission at this time, will really allow you to build something strong, something that lasts. And it's going to really allow you to move in a way that you may not have ever moved before. It's going to really allow you to sparkle. It's going to allow you to feel alive again. It's going to allow you to dismantle anything and everything in your life that no longer works, that are other people's, that are just no longer feels right for your soul. So allow yourself to go through these changes. Allow what Socrates says. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So if we stop fighting the old and we allow it to fall, what can we build? How can we build it better? So you're going to start seeing that not just within your world, not within your life, through the collective, through the media, through the world. And it's time for us to build something beautiful, something new. And it only works if you use what you desire, what brings you peace and happiness. It only works when you go deeper. You cannot change anything or anyone around you until you know what you want, until you know how you want to be treated, until you know what sparks you. So I feel like Spirit's been asking many of you for the last several years, what do you want? How do you want it to look? And why aren't you taking the steps to change it? Why aren't you being disciplined? Why are you not dismantling all the distractions around you to build what you want? Why? That's what Spirit's asking you. Why? So I hope that these questions have inspired you. I hope these questions and this energy gives you momentum, allows you to move forward, and really, really start to create what you really want. Because it's time to change. It's time for us to build the new. It's time for expansion. It's time for elevation. And sometimes, and a lot of times to get there, we have to change everything in our lives. So, where are you not receiving because you feel a lack? Where are you not receiving because you don't feel worthy of it? I'm going to leave you with that. So, I'm here if you need me, when you need me. You can contact me anytime. And I will be with you in the next week or so to give you some more information, another video for the rest of the month, because we have a lot going on. And we have a lot to work through, all of us. So if you haven't been working and you've just been kind of riding the wave and not really figuring out what you actually desire, start with these questions. Allow these questions to move you. Allow these questions to sit. And let's start not just thinking about what we want. Let's start doing it. Let's start embodying it. Let's start embodying these new frequencies and allowing our light to shine. No more shrinking. Let's do this. All right, my lovelies. Have a good week. Bye.